that was happened in the previous class. So till now what we have discussed is, so am I audible to you? The screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So till now, so in the previous class we have discussed about the if else and if else. So some of the example we have looked into it, and the next one is the nested if. So it means that if you are giving one condition and within that condition you are applying one of those condition and giving the else statement also. For this the example has been given here. So what is this program is about? Yes. How many inputs I am getting here?
3, sir.
3. So what is this program is about?
Finding largest number, sir.
Finding largest number of 3 numbers. We already done the finding the largest number of 2 numbers. To find the largest number, we're getting an input of only 2 numbers. So in this program, we are finding the largest number of given 3 numbers. So we are getting a 3 input from the user, that is 5, 6, and 7. You just imagine that you are getting 3 input from the user, 5, 6, and 7. And in this case, first the fourth line will be executed. If A is greater than B, the condition will be
False.
false. So here A will represent as 5, B will represent as 6, and C will represent as 7. So in the fourth line, the if condition will be there. It means that if A is greater than B, it means that 5 is greater than 6. So the condition has been false. So this particular, all the statement will not be executed and directly it will move to the else statement here. So in this else statement, the first condition will be if B is greater than C, the condition will be
False.
False.
It means that 6 greater than 7. So the condition has been false. And here in this else statement, it will go to the if else statement also. Here else statement is there and automatically G is represented as C and we are going to print the G, that is known as 7 is the greatest number. If suppose I am giving here as 12, 13 and 7. So what will happen here? Which line will be executed first? Yes. Had your lunch? Have you had your lunch?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Then what about your voices? So in
Sorry,
this,
sir,
which
for that.
statement will be executed first?
Else.
Which line?
4th line, sir.
Yes, fourth line will be executed. What will be the condition there?
False.
So here the fourth line has been executed. Here A is greater than B. It means 12 is greater than 13. The condition will be false and automatically it will go to the else statement. And here if B is greater than C, the condition will be
False.
B is greater than C, the condition. Here B is 13
True.
and C is 7.
True.
So yes, so this condition has been satisfied and it will print the result G. It will take the value in the G and the variable has been displayed as an output. So if suppose I am giving here as 15, then
Fourth line is true.
which line will be executed first?
If condition will be
line.
executed first.
So as fourth line will be executed, it will check the condition, that is A greater than B. The condition will be A is greater than B. So it will be executed and it will go to the if else statement here. And here it will check the condition that A is greater than C. Yes, the A is greater than C also. So it will directly print that G is equal to A, and it will take to the print option and it will print the result. So you can see here the output will be the greater is equal to 15. The output will be here, right? Have you clear about this? If nested if in a particular if we are using another if and else statement. Here, how many if statements are there?
3, sir.
3 if is there. Three if or two if is there. So it's a afternoon class. So here, 3 if statement is there. Only one if is the main if we are want to consider here. And apart from the main if, remaining the 2 if will be your nested if, which was belongs to the inside the if condition or inside the else condition, right? It will be the nested conditions over there. Can you tell me what is happening here? What is the program is about?
The number is positive or negative.
So you want to find out whether the number is 0 or a positive or a negative, right? So here I am giving, how many input I want to give?
1.
1. So I am giving the input as 12. And what will happen now? Which part will be executed first? Here the first line has been executed. I am given the input as 12. And this second line will be executed now. If n is equal to 0, it means n, whatever value we are giving, that is equal to 0, then we want to print the number as 0. So here n, that means 12 is equal to 0. The condition will be
False.
false. So what it will do is it automatically go to the else statement. And in that else statement, we are using the nested if. So if n is greater than 0, the condition will be
True.
true. So if the condition is true, that particular if statement will be executed and it will print the result as the number is a positive number. So you can see here that the number will be the positive number. Says the output will be the number is positive number. If suppose I am giving the value as -5, and what it will do is it will go to the second line and it will check whether the number is equal to 0. The condition will be false and it will go to the else statement. In that else statement, if n is greater than 0, the condition will be
False.
false. So what will happen is it automatically go to the else part and print that the number is a negative number, because we are going to check only 3 conditions, that is 0, whether the number is 0 or the number is positive or the number is negative. Once the 0 and the positive number has been, we are giving a condition to check the 0 and the positive number. If this 2 condition has been failed, and the number will automatically represent as a negative number, so it will produce this number is a negative. So you can see here the number is negative. So if suppose I am giving 0 here, so aeronautical people, can you wait for 10 minutes? Wait there in the line for 10 minutes. Aeronautical. Yes. So if suppose I am giving the number is 0.
First statement.
Yes, it will check whether if n is equal to 0, yes, the condition has been true, and it will go to the print statement and it will print the number is 0. Right? The number is 0. So this is the thing we want to use the if nested if statement inside the if. If you are using any if statement inside the if, or if else in the if or else statement, then it is known as the nested if statements, nested statements, right? Nested conditions. So this, have you clear about this four types? If else, if else, and nested if else. So these are the 4 conditional part that was going to be held in the 3rd unit. So have you clear about this, AA students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts there
Sir.
regarding this? You can unmute and ask yourself. If you are having any doubt, then you can unmute and ask yourself. The aeronautical student, kindly wait for 10 minutes. So no doubts, right? Yes. So now we will move to the third one. So till now we have seen about the conditional checking statements which related to if and else, and now we are going to look after the conditional structure which was going to be some of the conditional statement also. It means that state, while, for, break, continue and pass. So these are the 6 types that you are going to represent in your programming part. It means that each and individual statement will have their individual functionalities to do some of the specific operations, and we will look after one by one by the basic syntax and the flowchart of each and individual conditional statements. So first we will start with the while loop. So have you heard about this while loop in the first unit? Yes. So you can see here while loop statement in Python is used to repeatedly execute a set of statement as long as given condition is true. So you can see here the flowchart. We are testing one of an expression here while using the while loop, and it will be executed till the condition will represent as false. As long as the condition is remained as true, till the loop will be executed on the flow. In while loop, test expression is checked first. So here the test expression want to be checked first. The body of a loop is entered only if the text expression is true. So the body of this is the body of the loop. Whatever statement we are giving over here, once the test expression is true, then it will go to the body of the loop, and after one iteration the test expression is checked again. This process continue until the test expression evaluate to be false. So once the till the test expression the value will become false, till that the while loop will be executed continuously. So this is the concept of the while loop. So you can see here we want to initialize the value and we want to give the condition of the while loop, and it will represent the body of the while loop, what are the functionality we are giving in the body, and the incremental part will be there in the while loop. Once the incremental part will be executed, the condition will be changed according to the incremental part, and once the condition has been failed, and the remaining statement of the program will be executed. So we will move with one of an example here. Have you understand this? What is meant by while loop? Till now we have discussed if else, if end if else, and nested else. So these are the conditions to check the process, and with continuation of that we having that while loop. This while loop, what will happen is it will continuously execute in the if statement and all. If it is true, it will execute one of the part, and if it is false, it will execute another one of the part. So this is the for loop category. Now coming to the while category, it will check the loop until the statement will become false, right? So what is happening here? Can anyone? Yes, we are going to do the sum of n numbers. So we want to represent the sum of n numbers that we are giving a number to them. So if suppose I am giving 3, then the output will be, just see the output first. Yes, 1, 3 and 6. How it is happened is, one comma 2 comma 3. What is the sum of 1 comma 2 comma 3?
6.
Yes, 6. So this is the thing. So if you are giving 3, sum of n numbers, only one n you want to collect from the user, only one n you want to collect from the user, that is what we are getting 3. It means that we are taking 1, 2 and 3, and sum of these 3 numbers will be represented as the sum of n number, that will be 6. So 3 plus 2 plus 1, that will be a 6. So now coming to the program here, the first line we are collecting an input from the user, that means n is equal to 3, and the second line we are initializing the value that I is equal to 1 and initializing the variable that sum is equal to 0. Clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In the fourth line what we are doing is while, what is I value here?
1.
So yes, I is equal to 1, that means 1 is less than or equal to 3. The condition will be,
True.
so it means that sum is equal to, what is the sum value we are initialized?
0, sir.
Yes, sum is equal to 0 plus what is I value?
1, sir.
1.
1. So it means that sum is equal to 1. Now we got sum is equal to 1, and the next step I is equal to I plus 1. What is I value here?
1.
1.
What is I value?
1 plus 1, no, 2, sir.
So 1 plus 1, it means that now the I value has been changed to 2. So here the I value has been changed to 2. And again we will, the iteration process will be there. While 2 is less than or equal to 3, the condition will be.
True, sir.
So what it means that the while statement will be executed till the condition will be false, right? So you can see here, the while statement will be continuously repeated till the condition will be false. Once the condition has been false, then it will move to the remaining part of your program, right? So here, the sum is equal to sum plus I. What is the sum value now?
0, sir.
So 1.
1. The sum value is changed to 1 in the first loop. So here the sum value has been changed to 1. So it means that 1 plus 1. So sum value will be 1 plus 1. And I is equal to, what is I value now?
2,
I
sir.
value 2. So it means that 2 plus 1, the increment part will be happened. Sum is equal to sum plus I. Sorry, sum is equal to sum plus I. It means that sum is equal to sum value will represent as 1 and I value will represent as 2. Now the sum value will represent as 3. So again the increment part will be happen, and again it will go to the while statement that 3 is less than or equal to 3. The condition will be
True, sir.
true. Again the statement will be executed. Sum is equal to, what is the sum value now? 3, right? Is that correct? The previous state, the sum value will represent as 3. So the sum value will be 3 plus, what is I value now?
3.
3.
2, sir.
3. So now it will become as 6. And again it will increment one part, that is I is equal to, I value already 3 plus 1. It means that it will go to again to the while statement and will check the condition. 4 is less than or equal to 3. The condition will be
False.
false. So it means that this while loop has been terminated and the remaining part of the print function will be working over here. If suppose I am getting the result as each and individual step, I am getting the result. So first step I have got the result as 1. for the sum value, and the second step I got the result as 3 for the sum value, and the third step I got the result as 6 for my sum value. Fine. So this is the basic condition of the while statement, that the while statement will execute till the condition as getting false. If it is true, it will make an increment, it will do an operation and it will make an increment and it will execute all the part till the condition will getting as false, right? Yes. What is this about? So I will show you an example with 12. So I am given an example as 12 and I am getting an output as 3. What it means? Arrow students are there. Okay. 1 minute. So in the previous example, what we have done is, we have collected only one number and we have add from the number starting from 1 till the n, and we have sum all the number and we have displayed the result. In this case, we are collecting one number, and in that particular number, you are finding out the sum of the particular digit. So here the n will be represented as a number, and here the n will be represented as a particular digit. So it means that I am giving an input as 12 and I am printing the number and the output as 3. Why? Because the sum of 1 plus 2, the output has been came as 3. It means if suppose I am giving 1, 2, 3, then my output will be 6, right? If suppose I am giving 55, then my output will be 10. Are we clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So here I am getting an input that n is equal to 55. We will go with one smaller number. N is equal to 12. And here we are representing that sum is equal to 0. N is equal to 12 and sum is equal to 0. And we are checking the condition while n is greater than 0. The condition will be?
True.
What is the n here?
12.
12. So 12 is greater than 0. The condition will be true, and it will execute the statement of, it will execute the while statement that a is equal to n mod of 10. It means that a is equal to 12 mod of 10. What will be the value?
So 2.
2. Yes, good. So here we are getting an answer a is equal to 2, and the next step sum is equal to sum plus a. What is the sum value?
So 0 plus 2.
0 plus a value will represent 2. It means that we have got a new value that sum is equal to 2. And the third line, n is equal to n floor division 10. So what is the value of n? 12 floor division of 10. What is the value?
So 1.
1. Clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So again it will check the condition while now the n value has been changed to 1. Now the n value has been changed to 1. That means 1 is greater than 0. The condition will be
True.
condition will be true, and it will execute the while statement, that is a is equal to n mod of 10. Here n value is 1. 1 mod of 10, the value will be
1, sir.
1. So it means that if you can't able to divide the particular number by 10, then the same value will be represented over here. It means that the remainder will be 1. And next step, sum is equal to sum plus a. What is the sum value?
Two, 1.
The sum value is 2. So 2 plus a value is 3. It means that sum is equal to 3. And n is equal to n of floor division 10. It means that n value now changed to 1. So what will happen is 1 floor division of 10, the value will be
10.
no
0, sir.
1.
0. So if you are dividing 1 by 10, then what will happen is it will represent of 0.24 something, the value will be coming over here. So here the floor division purpose is used to get the integer value. So 0. Whatever value you are getting, that will represent as 0. Then again it will go to the while condition, and it will check 0 is greater than 0. The condition will be
False.
false. So what will happen is, once this statement, the condition has become false, and once the while statement, the condition has become false, it would automatically goes to the print, the remaining part of your program, that the print sum will be executed, and finally the sum value has been mentioned as 3, and the 3 will be your result that you are getting. That means 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, right? Yes. Any doubts in this?
No doubt, sir.
Yes. So till now they for arrow B also have discussed, right, till now, right, till the while loop.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So next we will coming to the comes to the for loop. So first what we have discussed, that if statement we have discussed, and while loop has been discussed, and this for loop also will be the test condition of your testing. It will check the condition and it will execute the sum of the part. And you can see here the flowchart of this. If the condition has been checked over here, then if it is true, it will execute the body of the for loop, and it will again go to check the condition. Once the condition has become false, then the remaining part of the program will be executed. So same as like that, the while loop, the only condition will be, we have given in the for loop in range, we have given that starting number and stopping number, and step size will be mentioned over there in the for loop, because how many steps you want to execute this particular task, in that much type the for loop will be executed. So once we will move with an example, then you will get a clear idea about this. This for loop will consist of two types. One is the for in range, and another one is for in sequence. Clear? So we can generate a sequence of number using range function. Using range 10 will generate number from 0 to 9. So it means we are going to use one of the range function. Whatever function you can use those function, and the particular range will depends upon 0 to 9. If it is 10 number, it will be depends upon 0 to 9. In a range function, have to define the start, stop, and step size as the range, start, stop, and step size. So these three range want to be declared in the for loop for doing some of an operations. And going with an example. So what is this program is about? Yes. Are you able
Sir,
to mute it?
it's called Fibonacci series, sir.
Yes, what it means, Fibonacci. I will
Add
execute
up
one.
the previous two numbers and the third number will be the result of the added number.
Yes, if suppose I am giving an input as 3 and I am getting a output as 1 and 2. 0, 1, 1, 2. Right? So it consists of, it will start from the value 0 and it will end from the value 2. Right? So 0, 1 and 1 will be represent common, and after that these two number want to be added, that 1, and again this number and this number want to be added and it will become 2, and these two number will be added and it will become 3, and these two number will be added and it will become 5, and again what will be the sequence?
8,
Sir, 8,
Again
13,
13
13,
again.
21,
Yes,
21,
21 again.
34,
34.
34. So yes. So in this case,
35.
previous two numbers want to be added and we want to represent in the output part. So first we have initialized that previous two number as zeros and ones, because the number will, the digit will represent starting from 0 and 1. So we have declared the values 0 and 1 in the first two lines, and I am getting an input from the user. So I will move with the number 5. I am getting an input from the user. 0 and 1 I have declared. A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1, and I am getting a input from the user, that is 5. That means n is equal to 5. And in the fourth step, what is happening here? We are printing some text over that, it is Fibonacci sequence. And in the fifth step, we are initialized, whatever value we are initialized, we have printed that A and B. It means that it will print the A and B here. It means that 0 and 1 here. Why? Because any number we are going to represent here, that particular number will be starting from the range 0 and 1. So with this two number only, we want to calculate the second number that we are going to represent, that 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So we are getting the first number as 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Likewise, the sequence will be there. Now coming to the for statement, for I in the range of 1, n, 1, what we have done is, this is the starting point, right? Yes. So this is the starting point we have done, and this will be the second one. So what is the second one? Second number that's represented here.
That it refers the final value.
Yes.
It
So
refers
here,
the final value, sir.
yes, it will reverse the stop value where this for loop want to be exactly going to be stopped, right? And this is the step size that you have provided. How many in a particular time? How many times this step will be executed in a particular time? In a particular time, the step want to be executed only one time, because after this looping statement has to be done, it will be represented in the, again the for loop will be executed. So if you are going to representing the step for a one time, you may declare this one also, you may not be declare this one also, because by default this for loop will be executed only one time, right? So now coming to the 7th line, that is C is equal to A plus B. So we have declared that we want to start from the range 1 till the n. Here the n will be represented as 5. So here the n is represented as 5, and now coming to the seventh line, that C is equal to A plus B. What is the value of A?
0, sir.
0
0
plus 1.
plus 1, so it will consist
1.
of 1. So in the 8th line, what has happened as print C. So it means that first print statement has printed the 0 and 1. So we got an output as 0 and 1. In the 8th line, we have changed the C value. We have declared the C value, and we are going to print the C. So it means that we got an output as 1 in this, right? So 1 minute. So what we have done first is A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1, we are represented, and C is equal to A plus B, we are represented. So in this case, this 2 line has been already printed in the print statement, and this line also has been printed in the print statement. And again, what we want to do is we want to change the value that A is equal to B and B is equal to, and C is equal to, sorry, A is equal to B and B is equal to C. So why it was?
Sir, because we can add the next number by shifting the first value to the second value.
Yes. So what the thing is, we want to add the previous 2 numbers. So here, once this print function has been printed, what will happen? These 3 line has been printed. So it means that 0 will represent A and B will represent B, 1 will represent B and C will represent 1. So for getting these 2, what we want to do is this 1 want to be represented as A and this 1 want to be represented as B. So by using this, it will interchange the value and it will give you this previous result, give you the upcoming result. So now what has happened is, so here the 8th line, the print C function will be executed and it will display the result as 1. And now coming to the 9th line, A is equal to B. What is the B value now? What is the B value?
Sir, 1.
1.
1. And again, what is the 10th line? B is equal to C. What is the C value?
1, sir.
So, please, sir.
1. C value is 1. So we are printing here, that is the C value. That C value is equal to 1. So here the value will be printed. So the value will be printed. Now how the output will be is 0, 1, and again the 1 will be there. And again the loop will be executed, that n will be getting an increment over here. Again the C part will be executed. Again the C part will be executed. C is equal to A plus B. What is the value of A now?
1, sir.
Yes, 1 plus the value of B is 1. So it will, C value will become 2, and again we are printing C. It means that we are going to print the value C. So you can see here the value of C will be declared as 2 here. So these 2 line has been printed before itself, and after that this line will be printing over here. And again we are going to interchange the value that A is equal to B. What is the B value now?
1, sir.
1. And B is equal to C. What is the C value now?
2.
2. So likewise, again we will go to the C statement. C is equal to A plus B. So A plus B. So what is the value of A? 1 plus 2, and it will become 3. Right? So I will execute this file. So you can see here, first we got an output, we are printing the value 0 and 1. In the first step, we are getting an output as 1. In the second step, we are getting an output as 2. In the third step, we are getting an output as 3. And again, we are going to print the function, that is print C. And again, we are going to change the value that A is equal to B. What is the B value now?
2.
2. And B is equal to C. The C value will be 3. Again, the calculation will be coming over here. A plus B, that means 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Now the C value has been changed. So print C. So now the 5 will be printing over here. Once this has been completed, how many statement has been executed here?
5, sir.
5 statement has been executed, so we are given the value as n as 5. So till that stop process, the statement will be executed and it will be giving you the result, right? So this is known as the Fibonacci series. So if suppose I am giving 7,
Sir, but the loop has only run for 4 times.
yes, it will be running for 4 times, 0 to 4. So 0 we are
Yes,
already,
sir.
so 0 we are already initialized the value, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you are representing that n is equal to 5, it will be running for 4 times. That is 0 we are already represent, that will consider it as 0. And this is the first is second, third and fourth. So the
Yes,
loop
sir.
will be executed 4 times. Because we have already shown in the coding PowerPoint also that if you are declaring a functions over here, it will yes. So if you are declaring if you are generating a range, whatever range we are giving, that will automatically take from the value 0 to 9. It means 0 to n. Whatever number you are giving, it will take the range from 0 to n. In this for statement, the starting initial stage has been declared earlier itself. It means it was mentioned as 0, 0th position, and remaining 4 position we will give you the output.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So any doubts in this? 41.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes. So for loop in the sequence, we will discuss this sequence in the illustrative problem in the upcoming illustrative problem. So first, what we have done is we have discussed that for in range, the range wants to be in the start and stop point want to be mentioned. In case if you need to mention a step size, we can give the step size also. If you are not representing the step size, then the program will the compiler will automatically take that step size into 1 if you are not provided. So starting point and ending point want to be mentioned clearly for this particular loop. And now coming to the sequence, the loop in Python is used to iterative over a sequence, that is list, tuple and string. So in this we are using in the range sequence by using the numerical value. Here the sequence of the loop will be represented by list, tuple and string. You can see here the example, right? For I in Ramu, print I, right? So it will take each and individual string and it will print the result RAMU. So it will print the result. So this will represent the string, list and tuple. So these are the example of this. So I will share with this. I will share with this presentation also in the illustrative problem by using this sequence loop. We will going to solve some of the problem. And that time we will discuss about the sequence of loops, right?
Sir.
Yes. So what it about? Can you tell me?
Sir, is it checking the numbers which are divisible by 5 or 10?
Yes. And see the second condition. First condition, whatever you told is correct. We are checking the
Finding the
number.
range, sir.
Yes.
Finding the range of the number, I think.
No, you can see the third line and you can tell me that. So for second line, you know that for I in range that we are giving a starting point and we are finalizing whatever the input value you are getting from the user, you are getting the stopping point. And the last one will represent the number of sequence want to be executed at a single point of time. So for second line will be clear. And you can check the third line, what is really happened there. So if that I mod of
Sir,
I, yes.
Sir, if I percentage 5 is equal to 0 and
Hmm.
I percentage 10 is not equal to 0, we will print
Hmm.
I.
Yes. So it means here I have mentioned that one of the statement that this is known as the not equal to function. So what it means, what is the function, what is the symbol name? I have forgotten that. So what it represent about?
Sir, if I mod 10 is not equal to 0 and then print I.
Yes. So what is that? This particular symbol name I forgot that. What is that name? Explanatory. What is that?
Sir, exclamation mark.
Explanation mark. Yes. So yes. So I have mentioned that symbol over there. It represents that not equal to. If you are represent this, if you are representing your program, you are representing this double equal to. It will show that you are going to check the equal to, and if you are representing like this, it will represent as equal to, and by this it is represented as not equal to. Clear? So it will represent equal to equate calculation, and it will represent, this will represent the not equal to calculation. So here what is happening here is we want to collect n from the user, and you want to check each and individual number. So it means that I in range. So we want to collect in each and individual number, and we want to check whether this I mod 10 is equal to 0, and we have used the AND symbol here, right? So what it means? So we discussed about AND, OR,
So two
and all,
conditions
right?
should satisfy.
Yes, it is a conditional statement that this both the condition, when in which number this both the condition has been true, that number will be printed in I. Clear? If suppose I am giving the range of 100, right? So what will be, so you can, sorry, you will take the range of 10. So what will be my output? If you are giving 10, it will take the number from 1. First thing what will happen is it will take the number 1. So first iteration will be happened here. If 1 mod of 5 is equal to 0 and 1 mod of 10 is not equal to 0, the condition is true or false?
True, sir.
So false.
Which one is false?
Sir, if I percentage 5, I guess. I'm
Sir,
not
I
sure
mod
about it.
5.
So this will be represented as false, right?
Yes, sir.
This will be represented as false, and this will be represented as
False only.
True, sir.
No,
true. So
true,
what will
sorry.
happen if you are using AND statement? These two function want to be true, then the I will be printing over here, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you are using OR function there, either one of the function is true, then the I will be printing. And here we are using the AND function. It means that both the function want to be true, and in that condition, the I will be printing over there, right? So I will run this. So what is the value? If you are taking the value from 1 to 10, only when the number will become 5, the output will be printing over here. You can see here 5 mod of 10 is equal to 0. The condition will be
True, sir.
True.
true. So 5 mod of 10 is not equal to 0. The condition will be
False.
False, sir.
True, sir.
how it become false? True. 5 mod of 10 is not equal to 0.
Yes, sir. True, sir.
So in this case, once the number will become 5, in the n will become 5, and that time both the condition will be true. Once both the condition has been true, the I will be printing over here as 5. Are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you just imagine that we are taking the value from 1 to 10. So if suppose the loop will be executed continuously till the now n is equal to 5. On that case, 5 mod of 5 is equal to 0. The condition will be true, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And 5 mod of 10 is not equal to 0. The condition will be
True.
True.
true. Yes. Okay, now you consider that the number is belong to 10. So now 10 mod of 5 equal to 0. The condition will be
True.
True, sir.
False.
false.
False, sir.
No. Yes, the condition will be true. So 10 mod of 5 is equal to 0. So 10, if you are dividing 10 by 5, the remainder will be 0, right? So now we can check here, 10 mod of 10 is not equal to 0. The condition will be
False.
False.
false, because 10 mod of 10 is equal to 0. So if we have mentioned that not equal to 0, the condition will be false, right? So if suppose I am giving the value as 20, then what will be my output? Only 20. What will be my output?
5 and 15, sir.
5,
And 15.
10, 15. 10 will be
No
coming there.
10, sir. No 10, sir. 5, 15.
Yes, the 5 and 15 will be my output. You can see here only the number which divisible of 5 and not divisible of 10, not modules of 10 will be displayed as your output. So in this case, if you are taking 15 here, so 15 mod of 5 is equal to 0, the condition will be true, and 15 mod of 10 is not equal to 0, the condition will be true, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the statement, that is a for statement. In this for statement, we are using if statement inside the for. So this is the major thing. You are using the if statement inside the for also, right? So now coming to the break. So this and all the simple one. So break statement can alter the flow of a loop. It terminate the current loop and execute the remaining statement outside the loops. So it will break a particular statement as it is, and it will execute the remaining part of your statements. And if the loop has else statement, that will also get terminated and come out of the loop completely. If you are using the break statement inside the loop, it will terminate the if statement. You can see the syntax over here. So in this, while we are using the if condition, in this if condition, if you are using the break statement here, once the break statement has been executed, it will terminate and it will continue the remaining part of your program. So this is the function. You want to give a break for a particular operation in your program, then you can use this break statement in this. So this is the basic thing. So what will happen here?
Sir, there is a string called welcome, and
Okay.
for I in welcome, the I searches for C string.
Okay. Okay.
When it finds C, it will break the loop and it will print I.
No.
Why, sir?
So you can just see the code again, what is happening. So see by step what is happening. First we have initialized the value that for I in welcome. So in that case, what we have declared is we having a welcome in an I, right? In a loop called for loop, we have declared one variable I, and we have initializing the value for an
Yes,
I
sir.
is equal to welcome, right? Again, we are going to the if condition. If you are using the for statement, it will take an individual character and it will check the first character I is equal to C. It means W is equal to C. First step it will verify, right?
Yes, sir.
So what will happen? W is equal to C. The condition will be
False, sir.
false. So this third line will not be executed and directly go to the fourth line and it will print the first value as W, right? And again, what will happen? It will goes to the incremental part of the for loop. So I will now become E and E is equal to C. The condition
Sir,
will
it
be
will print come.
yes.
It will print come. Come, sir. It will print come.
No. No. First value we have printed the W, right? First the W has been. So I will run this code. Then you will execute it. So what has happened?
Sir, until C, it will print the W, E, and L.
Yes, sir.
until
Yes,
C-
understood.
Until C, it will print the string. Until C, it will print the string. If suppose I am giving as E, then what will happen here?
So it will print
W will
till M.
Till
Without
M,
E, all letters.
till M, the string will be W. Oh, sorry. Here the E has been represented first itself, right? So if suppose I am giving M, yes. So it will print till O. So if suppose I am giving E, so the first E will be represented over here. So here what will happen is it will take the first I value, it will consider that W is equal to E, the condition is false, it will go to the print statement and print the W. And the second incremental part will be there, it will take the E and E is equal to E, yes, the condition is true and the statement of the if will be executed and it will break the statement and it will come out of the program. So it will represent only W over here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the basic thing. If you want to terminate a particular program after finding out your answer in your after getting your proper output in your program, then you can break those statement and you can execute the remaining part of your program. So this is the major condition of the break. It will be break all the statement in a loop that which consists of, and it will terminate from the loop and it will execute the remaining part of your program, right? So this is the basic thing of the break statement, and the continue statement will be there. Same as like that, the continue statement is there. Now you can tell me what will happen now. So
Sir, couldn't hear you.
Am I audible right now?
Yes.
Sir, I am facing a network issue, I guess.
Yes, the volume is right, Sneha. Be in the network area.
Yes,
So in
sir.
this case, the continue will be happened is it terminates the current iteration and transfer the control to the next iteration in a loop. Fine. You can read once again. It terminates the current iteration and transfer the control to the next iteration in the loop. So now what will happen? You can see here. Then tell me what will happen.
COM com will be present.
No, first what will happen is we are assigning the value of I is welcome and we are checking each and individual character whether the character is belongs to C. So it will check the first statement W and W is equal to C, the condition is false and it will print the value as W, right? So you will see the outputs and you will get a clarity here.
Sir, it prints welcome without C, sir.
Yes?
It prints welcome without C, sir.
Yes, it prints the welcome without C because if the C has been identified, then it will not be printed. It will not go to the printing part. It will directly go to the looping part and it will start searching the character again. So here what will happen is it will first search the W. It is not equal to and it will print the W. And next it will search the E. It is not equal to and print the value as E. And third character is L. It was not equal to, it was not true. Then it will go to the IEL. And coming to the fourth thing, the character C is equal to C, the condition will be true, and it will go to the continue part. Continue in the sense it will go to the continue statement and it will produce the result, right? Without, after that O, M and E, what will happen is it will print all this O, M and E, because these three character is not equal to C. So it has printed the O, M and E. If suppose I am giving here the E value, what will happen now?
Sir, it will print WELCOM, sir.
W?
No, sir. It will print WLCOM.
You can see here, not even a single E has been displayed here. So E, when the E will be coming over here, it won't go to the print statement. It will directly go to the continue statement, and it will continue from the first line itself, right?
Clear, sir.
Yes. So these are the basic difference between the break and continue. So in this, the syntax will be break and continue. It will terminate the current loop and execute the remaining statement outside the loop if you are using break. And in the continue, terminate the current iteration and transfer the control to the next iteration in the loop. So it will transfer the iteration it will transfer to the next iteration. Here, the loop will be terminated outside the function will be terminated outside the loop, right? So this is the last one. So else statement in the loop. So we already discussed this. So I'll show you two examples. You can tell me what is happening in those examples. Once you're seeing the output, you can able to tell me what is happening. Yes. Sorry.
Sir, it will print the
Yes.
Sir, it prints number from 1 to 5, sir. After that, else part will be displayed, sir.
Yes. Good. Good. Fine. So in this case, what is happening is we are given a starter number as 1 and ending number as 6. So it will consider that I is equal to starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So till n number it will be displayed over here, and one it will coming to the incremental part. The sixth number will be so n will be represented as 6. So the 6 will not be executed. So this for loop will be terminated, and it will go to the else statement, and it will print the number is 6. So whatever you can do this, whatever you are giving in this print statement, that will be in your result, right? So it will start the range from 1. It will start the range from 1 till the fifth statement. It will print the result because we have mentioned the n is equal to 6. So before n, how many values are there? That value will be printing over there. And once the incremental part is above the n value or equal to the n value, then it will move to the else statement and it will print the result whatever we are giving over here. Fine. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what will be the output now? So no need to take those print statement and all. I am giving some of the string over here. You don't consider that. You can consider it on this first 4 line. What will happen is we are giving initializing the value I is equal to 1 and we are applying the while loop, and I is less than or equal to 5. If the condition is true, till now this statement will be executed. So print I. So first line what will happen is the 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, the condition is true. So the first number will be 1 and the I will be incremented by 1. That is 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it will print 2 and the I will be incremented like this. So likewise it will be print till the I value will become 6, right? So how many values will be printing here? Till from 1 to
5.
5. So once 5 is less than or equal to 5, yes, the condition will be true, and here the value will be printed as 5, and I is equal to I plus 1. So I, and that time the I will be 5. So 5 plus 1, 6. After going to the while condition, it will check 6 is less than or equal to 5. The condition will be false. So it will automatically eliminate the while loop and it will goes to the else part and it will print the result whatever we are given over here, right? You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Till the 5th position, the output will be printing here, and the else part also printing that the number less than or equal to 5. Whatever they mentioned here is the number will be less than or equal to 5. Yes. So in this case, without using the if statement, we are used the else statement. So here, while using the while statement, you can use those else statement also for printing your default values, default statements. Whatever the default statements are there, you can use those statement by using the else statement while using the while loop, right?
Sir,
Yes. Yes. So any doubts as of now?
No, no.
So only 36 are there. These two was a combined class. Only 36. So give your attendance by using your name, by using your department and followed by your name. First you mention your department and followed by your name. You can give your attendance.
Yes, sir.